Hi, this is Albert from the StarExec team. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on uploading benchmarks to StarExec. So to get started, you're first going to want to be in the space that you want to upload your benchmarks to. So you can see here I'm in the upload test space of my personal subspace. And then you'll just need to scroll down and go to upload benchmarks in that space. The benchmarks you are uploading need to be compressed as a zip file. They can either be a file on your computer, or you can choose the URL option to reference a URL where the file is contained. I'll go ahead and choose local file, and my benchmarks are in this benchmarks.zip file. Let's go ahead and look at the contents of this file. So here's my benchmark zip file. If I navigate into it, you can see that I have benchmarks as well as directories that contain more benchmarks. When you upload this, you can either have all of these benchmarks be uploaded to the space we were in, or you can choose for a new space to be created for each one of these folders. So for example, you'd have this subspace in our original space, and then you'd have this array benchmarks space under that, and then the pointer space under that, and then these two benchmarks would be in the pointer subspace. We'll see how that works in a moment. Let's go ahead and finish uploading our benchmark. So here's where we can choose whether or not we want to just put all the benchmarks in our original subspace called upload test. So that would be the place all benchmarks and upload test option. Or we can convert the file structure to the space structure. So let's go ahead and do that one, and then we can see what it looks like afterward. Here you can set the default permissions for users in your space. So for the add row, if you want users in your space to be able to add solvers, add benchmarks, add users, add new subspaces, or add jobs, you can check the box in that row. And similarly for the remove row, if you want users in your space to be able to remove solvers or remove benchmarks, users, spaces, or jobs, you can just check the box in that row. The benchmark type specifies what kind of benchmark you're using. Now this will be specific to the community that you're in. Different communities can choose different benchmark types, and each type will be defined by something called a benchmark processor. This processor will parse your benchmark and figure out whether or not that benchmark is valid. So whatever type of benchmark you're uploading is going to be the type of benchmark that you want to specify here. I'm going to give my benchmarks the no type type. The downloadable option allows you to specify whether or not you want other users in your subspace that these benchmarks will be in to be able to download these benchmarks. If you don't want other users downloading these benchmarks, click the no option. Finally, the dependencies option allows you to make these benchmarks dependent on previously uploaded benchmarks. We won't be covering dependencies in this tutorial, but if you need help with it, check the StarExec user guide. To upload your benchmarks, just click upload. The page you'll be taken to contains information such as the upload date of the benchmarks, things useful for debugging like whether the file upload was complete, whether it was able to be extracted from the zip file, whether the validating begun, the total number of benchmarks, the number of benchmarks that were validated, the ones that failed, the ones that completed, the number of spaces that were extracted, and an error message if there was an error. Now we'll go back and take a look at the benchmarks that were extracted. So you can see here that the new subspaces created mirror the directory structure in the benchmark zip file. So under upload test we have this subspace, and then we have array benchmarks, and then pointer, and inside pointer we have pointer invalid 10 and pointer invalid 15. If we look at our benchmark zip file, you'll see that we have this directory, and then array benchmarks, and then pointer invalid 10 and pointer invalid 15. If we had chosen the other option for upload method, then all of the benchmarks would have appeared in upload test. And that's how you upload benchmarks. Thanks for watching.